How's it going, everybody? Rye today, and we are here with a brand new series or a couple episodes that you guys are going to be able to dictate. We're going with a career simulation here, and now with the first overall draft pick being in the game, Owen Power, how will his career progress? Let's go ahead and take the journey and find out. Now, this is going to be pretty fun, guys. I'm going to control the Arizona Coyotes so I don't interfere with his career, although I do have auto coach and auto free agent, and basically everything automatic that I could. So I will be just a spectator along with you guys, essentially your narrator for the guide of Owen Power's career. But here he is, the 79 overall high elite defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres, 6'6", 214. We're going to see just where his career takes him, how long, how many awards, does he win cups? Does he win a cup? Does he make it to the cup? Does he make the playoffs? It's the Buffalo Sabres, so you never know. But let's go ahead, get the journey started for Owen Power. If you guys are going to go ahead and like this episode, make sure to leave a like on it so that I know you guys like this kind of series. If you guys have more ideas, leave your thoughts down in the comment section or join the Discord where we originally started getting some names for this series. But let's take a quick look at his stats. 80 passing, 84 offensive awareness, a decent shot, but that defensive category is really good to start with. Physical, not that great for a 6'6" defenseman, if you ask me, but that should definitely grow, especially because he's high elite. He is a two-way defender, so we aren't going to be seeing a ton of points probably. But you guys can see he's there with Pissick on the bottom line. And after his rookie season, he's got 17 points and he's an 84. I turned injuries off, so he's going to be able to play every single game. But there it is, 4 goals, 13 assists in his rookie season. Not too bad. A -2, which was honestly the best of anybody that played the full season. And you can see he's grown super nicely. That defensive category looks great. Offensive category looks great as well. Maybe puck skills and things like that will need to grow. And here we go after season number 1. It is the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. They took on the Vegas Golden Knights and beat them, with the Vancouver Canucks winning the President's Trophy. Owen Power did not win the Calder, as that was Zegras. And obviously, guys, Owen Power wouldn't win it this season anyway because he hasn't played enough. But hello, Ovi. Congratulations on getting a lot more goals. Continuing into the start of season number 2. A good offense. You know, they're starting to build here. They got Ricard, Raquel, Tierney, Donato. They signed Josh Hosang. Cousins has grown nicely. And now Owen Power is up to an 85, still high elite at 19. He also gained 10 pounds. I've never seen a player gain weight. I've never actually paid attention to it until now, and his defensive partner is Matt Irwin, so I feel a little bad for him. And goaltenders are Kemper and Luukkonen. At the end of the season number 2, Buffalo barely misses out on the playoffs, 4 points behind Ottawa, who has 93. You can see in the entire Eastern Conference here, they were the best team to miss out on the playoffs, but they're taking a step in the right direction. Hopefully Owen Power can make the playoffs in season number 3. And speaking of, how did he do? Well, this season he improved 16 points. He's now up to an 88 overall, listed as a top 2 defenseman at only 20. He is going to be an absolute machine. He's going to be a top-line defenseman in no time. And look at that defensive category. It's elite, absolutely elite. And I think the only reason his overall is not higher is because he didn't, his physical category is not that great. But taking a look at where they were playing him, they now put him on a line with Dahlin. I noticed that they had him for quite a lot of time on ice. So he's playing with Dahlin, leaving a pretty weak defensive core behind him. But the Islanders win the Stanley Cup. Vancouver wins the President's Trophy, and the Islanders beat the Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup this year. McDavid wins the Art Ross and the Hart Memorial. Hedman wins the James Norris, so no Norris yet for Owen Power. Lady Byng goes to Kuznetsov. Holtz wins the Calder. Varlamov with the Conn Smythe. The Vezina goes to Gibson. Also winning the M. Jennings. Alexiak is the Bill Masterton Trophy. Jack Adams is Seattle's head coach. Frank Selke goes to Ryan O'Reilly. McDavid wins the Ted Lindsay. And Maurice Rocket Richard goes to Austin Matthews. Here in season number 3, not Owen Power, but I left everything to the computer, and they signed Nathan MacKinnon for me here with the Arizona Coyotes. I left auto free agent signings, and they signed Nathan MacKinnon for me. And honestly, our team looks pretty good. I thought I was going to run this team into the ground by not touching it, but hey, we might actually be competitive. And the nice thing about the auto free agent signing is we are not going to take ourselves out of the running if Owen Power ever does become a free agent. But now to the star of the show. Where is Owen Power? How is he doing? actually how the Sabres doing, and they're looking really good. They got JT Miller. The team is looking very, very nice offensively. Defensively, they acquired Dumba, and Power is now the best defenseman on the team at an 88 overall, still playing with Yoki Haru. And in goal is still Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Scratched is Peyton Krebs, so we might see him play some this season because he's definitely better than some of the guys they currently have. But there he is. He's now up to 230. And looking great across the board. I mean, he's going to be so good. That defensive category, I'm going to keep highlighting it because that's the best asset for Owen Power. And I think EA rated him right. He's a defensive two-way defender. He makes the smart play. He's great offensively too, moving the puck, but I would consider that more of his defensive skill sets. But more about that later, as the Buffalo Sabres have finally made the playoffs in 23-24. And they got 98 points, 1 point behind the Panthers with 99. So they are a wild card team. How did Owen Power do? Well, let's go take a look. He only put up 32 points, but that is a new career high on his ELC on the last year of his ELC. A good year, doubled his point total from last season and got over double the goals. A good season for him there, shooting a pretty good amount. Now we take a look at some of the more stats here. He played 26 minutes a night, averaged 21 on the ELC, 140 hits, 114 blocks. Giveaway takeaway ratios, not great, but it is what it is. He's a defenseman who looks, again, really, really good. Would love to see his puck skills grow a bit more. And we are now in the playoffs. So let's go ahead and get through the playoff simulation, checking out that playoff tree. Who is Owen Power's first career postseason going to be against? Well, let's check out who he's going to play with in the postseason first. Not too much change in the lines, although we do see Peyton Krebs is here. I just wanted to check if they made any crazy splash trades, if anything happened here. Defensively, it's Power and Dumba, so he has bumped Dahlin down to the second pairing to play with Yoki Haru, and Mahura and Ouellet round out the defensive core. Looking at the contract status, does he have an extension yet? Yes, he does, ladies and gentlemen. He signs a 5-year, I believe it is, $8.895 million deal. It's either 5 or 6 years. Dahlin still needs to be re-signed. They haven't signed him just yet. Hopefully they do so they can keep Dahlin and Power together, but they just bumped him to the second line. Are they going to pay that much for a second liner? I don't know. It's the AI. It's the Sabres general manager. We'll see what happens. But the playoff favorite is currently the Ottawa Senators, and you can see the Sabres as a wild card are going to have to go through the Metro, their first opponent being the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's go ahead, and we're going to kind of go straight through the first round, try and get up to Game 6, if there is a Game 6 in this series. Just go a little quickly through this first season here. And you guys can see there, the Sabres are up 3-2. We advance to Saturday. Did the Sabres move on? Not yet. It is Game 7. Owen Power's first career series goes into a Game 7, and it's his first career Game 7. Looking elsewhere, nobody else has advanced. There's 4 Game 7s on the docket and a bunch of sweeps as well so far. I think if you're not in Game 7, you got swept. So here we go. Buffalo is going to win 4-1 in Game 7, taking the series and moving on to the second round. How did Owen Power do in his first playoff action? Rickard Rakell did great. So did JT Miller. Dahlin with 7-7. Owen Power with 3-7. So not a ton of points, but we haven't seen a ton of points out of Power yet in his career. 2 goals, 1 assist, playing 27 minutes a night. That's almost half the game. He's playing literally half the game here for the Buffalo Sabres, whose next opponent is the New York Islanders. We'll go quickly through the advanced day. They are gonna, I think it's 1-1 in the series. Buffalo takes Game 3. Actually, excuse me, it's 3-0 in the series. Is Buffalo gonna sweep them? We don't know. No, they're not. Here we go, looking up in the top right for no games today. And Buffalo is going to win, and they are in the conference finals against the Ottawa Senators. Sabres, Senators, first Atlantic Division opponent coming up, and they are the playoff favorite, the Senators. So the Sabres, will they be able to knock them off here in the Eastern Conference Finals and book a trip to the Stanley Cup in Owen Power's third season? As you guys can see, I think he only got 2 more points in that series. So in 5 games, he got 2 points, which isn't too terrible. Excuse me, 2 points in 5 games. So that's not great. But Buffalo loses game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game number 2 also goes to Ottawa. They win 5-1. Game number 3, Buffalo takes it and they crawl back into the series. Game number 4, Buffalo wins that and ties the series. They win 2-1. Game number 5, a pivotal one here, is taken by the Ottawa Senators. And in game number 6, Ottawa closes it out. They're going to win the series 4-2, and they're going to take on the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they are the Stanley Cup champions. Ottawa eliminates Buffalo, but are the Stanley Cup champions. So Buffalo gets eliminated by the team that won the whole darn thing. And you guys can see they were the best team in the league. They won the President's Trophy. They were the playoff favorite, and that held true. Looking at the individual awards, Stützle and White splitting the Hart and Art Ross, which almost never happens. You guys can see Tkachuk won the Conn Smythe. Demko played great for the goaltending awards, and the Sabres head coach Sanders is gonna win the Jack Adams. Colin White wins the Ted Lindsay, and Ovi is still scoring lots of goals. Now, Owen Power did sign an extension. Did Rasmus Dahlin? Well, he's still here, so yes, he did. Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin are together, and if you guys can spot it, they've got David Jiricek. So, the top-rated, I believe, Czech defenseman who was in the first draft of the season, of the simulation, I should say, is here. So they are going to have an absolutely filthy defensive core. And here we go. These are the lines as we head into season number 4. Owen Power's first year on a big boy contract. Stevens and Phillips are scratched for them, but the forward core looks pretty good. Defensively, it's Power Dumba, and that's a great pairing. He's only 21, 90 overall. I mean, look at it, guys. His skating needs to grow a little bit. His physical's starting to round out, and this is just a stupid solid defenseman. And it's Dahlin playing with Rutta and Mahura playing with Laxinen, so they are not playing Jiricek in the NHL just yet. Their goaltenders are Darcy Kemper and a backup. They do still have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, don't worry. I thought he was gone, but they still have him. And it proved to be good because they finished 6th in the Eastern Conference with 96 points. Taking a look at how the individual statistics go for the Buffalo Sabres, JT Miller is doing very well for the Sabres. Matt Dumba leads the way in points and Power with 25. So he took a step back on his first big deal coming off the ELC. Not quite as good as we saw last season. But last season, they did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's see, are we going to do it again? Are the Buffalo Sabres going to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals or further to the Stanley Cup Finals in their way? Well, we'll find that out in just a second here. Taking a look at the lines, JT Miller, Middlestat, Skinner, Olofsson, LaPierre, Raquel, Hosang, and Cousins, and somebody else on the third line. Here we go. Owen Power with Dumba still, Dahlin and Rutta, and Jiricek has not come up. That's kind of what I was looking for, to see if anybody has come up or changed or any trades. Nothing there for the Buffalo Sabres, but you guys can see they take on the Florida Panthers in the first round. That is a tough matchup. Ottawa takes on Tampa on the other side of the Atlantic. So here we go. Florida takes game number 1. Game number 2 is taken by Buffalo, so it's 1-1 in the series. In game number 3, Buffalo wins it and have a 2-1 lead. Game number 4, Florida wins that one. It's now 2-2. Game number 5, the Florida Panthers win that one solidly. And in game number 6, Florida takes that one as well by 5-3, and they advance into the second round, eliminating Buffalo in the first round. So Owen Power's second season, he only makes it to the first round. But as you guys can see, the Anaheim Ducks knock off the Florida Panthers. So this is back-to-back seasons where the representative from the Eastern Conference has knocked Buffalo out. Kucherov and the Lightning still got a dynasty going. Jarmelson there. Zegras wins the Conn Smythe. Hellebuck does well. Sorokin. I mean, the Atlantic is absolutely stacked. You guys can see as we go through these awards, the Atlantic still has stupid amounts of talent. Heading into the next season, JT Miller is centered by LaPierre with Raquel on the other side. And here we go. Owen Power still at the top pairing with Dumba, but Rasmus Dahlin has dropped. This isn't a Rasmus Dahlin career resim. This is an Owen Power career sim. He looks insane. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen now up to an 89. And I did want to check, did he leave the Buffalo Sabres last season? No, he did not. He played 67 games for them last season, so I just didn't see him at the beginning of the season. I got a little worried. But there is Jiricek. He makes it to the NHL, playing with Caleb Jones, and he is going to be an absolute stud, and this defensive core is going to get ridiculous. And it has propelled Buffalo to a third straight playoff appearance, 89 points, 3.1 goals for, 3.29 against, so not great there. Taking a look at the Atlantic, they were a wild card behind the Florida Panthers, but ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they are the number 1 wild card, which is better for matchups. Taking a look at player points, we have our first Owen Power breakout season, 39 points, which is a new career high, playing 26 minutes a night. The guy can just about do it all. I mean, he can penalty kill, he can score points, as we can see. He's probably on the penalty kill. He's probably on the power play. And he's at even strength. He's basically on everything. Can't look at the playoff tree until I hit advanced day, of course. I'm going to do that multiple times over the course of this episode. But here we go. The playoffs are upon us. It's finally the end of the regular season. We are taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins, going through the Metropolitan, which has proved to be good for us in the past. Last time we went through the Metro, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's take a look at the lines that Buffalo will be rolling out for the playoffs. They look very, very solid. The third line should be a bit higher, in my opinion. Not too much has changed. Rasmus Dahlin looks great, and he is now playing with Jirasek, so that is a small change there. But here we go. Let's get into the playoff simulation. Game number 1 is taken by Pittsburgh. Game 2 by Buffalo. Series is 1-1. Game 3 by Pittsburgh. Game number 4 coming up is taken by Pittsburgh. One more game in the series. Buffalo takes it. We have one more game again. Pittsburgh takes this one, though. We just couldn't get over the hump there. Let them build a lead. Did try and claw back. Made it 3-2. Couldn't quite do it there. Now taking a look at how we performed in the playoffs. Was not a great postseason for Owen Power with no points, -3 in 6 games. And from your number 1 defenseman, which he is now, that's not what you want to see. Colorado wins the Stanley Cup against the Ottawa Senators, who are insane, guys. You can see 3 straight Atlantic representatives for the East. Minnesota was the best team, but Colorado makes it out of the West and wins the Stanley Cup. Austin Matthews is now a Vancouver Canuck, so he has left Toronto, flown to the other side of Canada, and is now a Vancouver Canuck. Ekblad wins the Norris, so still no trophies for Owen Power. No chances really at a trophy so far. No Stanley Cup. He hasn't put up a ton of points yet. So you can see Austin Matthews raking in the awards here. But I'm going to leave this screen up. This trade happened in the offseason. It's McAvoy and Lindholm to Pittsburgh for Monahan and a third. And I normally don't show you guys trades, but this will come in later in just a second. But let's go ahead and check out the lines that Buffalo will rock. And it looks pretty good. Isaac Rosen, the first round pick from this past season, in real life is looking pretty good up there on the first line. And it's a pretty solid forward core. They just don't have those stars. And they're on the back end. They really should be putting Dahlin with Power, but they decided not to. They're going to keep things very similar. I mean, heck, it's been good for them and it's worked. And here we are at the trade deadline. And this is a very familiar looking trade. I have never seen this before. Pittsburgh wanted Monahan back. Boston wanted McAvoy back. So basically it turned into swapping Lindholm for Dumoulin because a 3rd round pick was exchanged as well. So Boston and Pittsburgh regretted their decisions, and at the deadline, flip-flop back. So McAvoy is back in Boston after about 60 games, and Monahan is back in Pittsburgh. I've never seen that before. I thought that was hilarious. But here we go. In a very not good season, after 3 straight playoff appearances, Buffalo is going to miss it. 500 point percentage, 37-37, and 8. Not great. How did Owen Power do, though? Was Owen Power the reason for not doing well? Well, no, he got 49 points. That's a new career high. The defensemen are starting to put up points. Another 26-minute season for him. Doing fantastically there, getting a lot of minutes shoved down his throat. And since we didn't make the playoffs, there's no playoff sim. The Anaheim Ducks are going to win the Stanley Cup, and they will have toppled Ottawa, who's made it in 3 out of 4 seasons and won the President's Trophy, guys. Ottawa is going to be a pain in the butt for this Sabres team to get over, but it's Trevor Zegras leading the way there. Quinn Hughes, again, getting more awards. Same thing with Austin Matthews. His trophy cabinet is getting pretty darn full. Claude Giroux decided to go to the Anaheim Ducks and win a cup there. Vegas's coach won the Jack Adams, and no awards for any Sabres of any kind. No Owen Power. Jumping ahead to the next season, we are in the 27-28 season, which is season number 7. Looks good. I mean, the whole team looks pretty good. There's some weak spots, but for an AI-generated team, this is pretty darn good. Dahlin up to an 88, Power up to a 91, and the defensive core looks darn solid, and they still have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and a couple good scratched players just in case they need to switch things up. But Owen Power, again, I mean, just looks so good. His physical category is not growing too much. He signed a 3-year, he's got 3 years left on that deal that he signed, $8.9 million. And Buffalo is going to make the playoffs here in year number 7 with 100 points. I mean, the East had 500-point teams, but they played an absolutely awful style of hockey with 2.68 goals for per game and 2.56. So you barely got to see 5 goals a game if you went to a Sabres game. I mean, heck, it worked. They got 100 points, but still not very fun hockey. And Ryan O'Reilly is now here. Welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. Welcome back to the Buffalo Sabres. And Owen Power and Dahlin lead the way as far as points. Another great season for Power. It's not going to be a career high in points, but now we're starting to see him put up about 40 points a season. He's really coming to his own offensively, where he was already pretty good defensively. And now we've got a postseason to get into. We made the playoffs, 100 points. Let's check the lines. We now have O'Reilly, so what has changed? It's Miller, O'Reilly, Roseanne, Krebs, Cousins on that second line. Yes, they acquired him at the deadline from Pittsburgh, and Sharangovich. LaPierre is now on the third line. Defensively is Power, Dahlin, Butcher, Lamoureux, Bjornfoot, and Attard. So it looks like they gave up Dumba to get Ryan O'Reilly, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is still in goal. So not too much change there, but I like to see them put Power and Dahlin back together. Here we go, though. The playoffs are upon us, and they are taking on the Ottawa Senators yet again. This Ottawa Senators team is a brutal one to try and get through. You guys know they've made 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cup finals, winning one of them, I believe. Or have they won one yet? No, I don't think they have won one yet. Can't remember. Anyway, Buffalo's going to win game 1. Ottawa's going to win game 2. No game today. Game number 3 won by Buffalo. Game number 4 coming up here is won by Buffalo, and they have a 3-1 series advantage. Game number 5 is gonna be Ottawa. It means we're going to game number 6. Round is over, which means the Buffalo Sabres have advanced in 6 games, and they will be taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who beat Boston in 6, exercised those demons, and now a big rivalry matchup here in round number 2. So let's waste no time and get into it. Game number 1 is won by Toronto. Game number 2 is won by Buffalo. Day off before game number 3 is won by Buffalo, who have a 2-1 lead. Game 4 taken by Toronto, who ties the series. Game number 5 here is won by Toronto, who take a 3-2 series lead. Game number 6 is taken by Toronto, and they are going to eliminate Buffalo. So back in the playoffs after a 1-year hiatus, and they are going to advance only to the second round here. Owen Power with 7 points in 12 games played, led the way for all defensemen. Looks pretty darn good to me. And his playoff stats, you guys can see he's got 16 points in his 42 career games. Definitely a bounce back from last season's playoffs. Toronto then goes on to win the Stanley Cup. So this is another season where the representative of the East and now winner of the Stanley Cup is going to eliminate the Buffalo Sabres. Austin Matthews was not part of that team as he's still in Vancouver. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen wins the Vezina, not the William M. Jennings. But you got to think that Owen Power was a big part of him winning the Vezina. I mean, I got to credit the defense at least somewhat, right? Give him a little bit of credit. Now, here we go. Season number 8. The offense still looks quite solid. Clayton Keller is here. Cousins, Roseanne on the first line. JT Miller's now to the second line. And we've got a Power Dahlin pairing, which I'm very excited for. And there's a guy missing. I'm noticing that there's a defenseman that we were very excited for, and he is missing. I wanted to go check if he is in the AHL. He's not in the NHL. He's not in the system. Where is David Jiricek? He was not here last year either. I just finally caught it this season, and I wanted to see if he was maybe part of that Ryan O'Reilly trade. He was not. He's not there. And now we got to go find him. Where is David Jiricek? Where did he go? Why would Buffalo let him go? Did they trade him? Did they release him? Like, what happened here? David Jiricek, wherefore art thou, David Jiricek? He is a member of the Carolina Hurricanes, 82 overall, still medium elite, signed to 4 years at 6.2. Maybe Buffalo just couldn't afford that, traded him. but he played one season for the Sabres. His ELC expired, and they let him walk. I don't know if they didn't tender him or if they traded him, because it looks like he just straight up left in the offseason. So they might have tendered him, might not have been able to sign him, and then traded him. But going forward into the season, the Buffalo Sabres are going to snatch a wild card spot here away from the Detroit Red Wings on tiebreakers. So we have now made the playoffs in 5 of the 8 seasons. That is a great, great number here. Going in to check this player stats, how did Owen Power do? Not a lot of points for anybody, but Owen Power with 46 points looks very good. You can see he was up there, best defender, and still looks very good. The offensive stats aren't going up as much as I'd like, and it looks like he's got 2 years left on a $9 million deal. I don't know when that deal was signed. I don't know why or what. I don't remember his contract expiring, but he's still here in Buffalo. That's the important part. And we have a playoffs to get to, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who the Buffalo Sabres will be taking on in the next round. We can't look at the playoff tree just yet. I keep doing that, guys. Sorry about that. But here we go. The season is officially complete now. And the Buffalo Sabres will be taking on, in round number 1, the Ottawa Senators yet again. The 2029 Stanley Cup playoffs are here. How far will we make it? It is Ottawa. Let's go ahead and advance through this postseason as Ottawa takes game number 1. They also take game number 2, so they are up 2-0 in the series. Game number 3 goes to Ottawa as well. Game number 4, Buffalo staves off elimination. Game number 5 here is taken by Buffalo, so it's 3-2 now. Buffalo forces game 7 after being down 3-0 in the series. And Ottawa comes out on top in game number 7 here. Unfortunately, Buffalo couldn't complete the miraculous comeback in this one, but a good playoff run nonetheless. So let's go ahead and see how did Owen Power do? How was this postseason? Did he carry like he tried to in the regular season? No, it was actually Rasmus Dahlin. Power had an okay postseason. These two defensemen are going to carry the way for a long time for Buffalo. But the Edmonton Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup. Anaheim was the best team in the league, and it was an all-Canadian affair for back-to-back years as the Toronto Maple Leafs made it, but they weren't able to win it. Stützle and those Ottawa Senators are ridiculously good, guys. They are going to be a problem, and they're going to cause a lot of stress for Sabres fans. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with back-to-back Vezinas, and this time wins the William M. Jennings. Alexiak won the Masterton again, so good for him there. Austin Matthews continues to score goals. Going into season number 9, Nico Hischier has arrived, playing with Clayton Keller and Isaac Rosen. That first line looks pretty good. The forward core is starting to get a little weaker than it has been in years past. This team is not as good as ones that we've seen in the past, the fourth line being a prime example of that. And defensively, Rasmus Dahlin is gone and has been replaced by Mario Ferraro. Owen Power still here with 1 year left on I think he signed a 2-year, $9 million deal. But the defensive core looks pretty weak. The team really starting to lose its luster here. Where did Rasmus Dahlin go? This team couldn't keep it together, paying all these guys, those multiple postseason appearances here. We are in season number 9, but Rasmus Dahlin went to an Atlantic Division rival in the Florida Panthers. 6 years, just about $11 million. So Buffalo could probably not afford that. Either that or Dahlin just wanted out of here. He wanted to try and go a little bit deeper. And as you guys can see, Owen Power is on an expiring deal. And the Sabres had $23 million in cap space, so they could have kept Dahlin had he wanted to, had they come to an agreement, but they did not. But regardless, Buffalo's going to put up 95 points this season in the 29-30 season and make the playoffs as a wild card. 95 points is a lot for a wild card. Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa all ahead of them. Same thing with the Boston Bruins. They were ahead of them as well. Taking a look at the individual statistics here. Nico Hischier, just absolutely insane. Hischier, I don't know exactly how you say it. Owen Power, though, 64 points with a new career high in points, 58 assists, still playing 26 minutes. Offensively, looking great. His awareness in that defensive category is just gross, but 64 points is a new career high for him. That is very exciting, but only a +6. You'd think he'd do a little bit better, but hey, I guess they weren't the most dominant team, but anyway, they made the playoffs. It doesn't really matter about what their plus minus is, right? And as you guys can see in round number 1, it is Buffalo versus Toronto. And a big rivalry matchup here in the first round. Will Buffalo be able to get past Toronto, who eliminated them, I think, just 2 seasons ago? But Buffalo's up 2-0 in the series already. In game number 3, Toronto wins it. Game number 4, Toronto ties the series. Game number 5, it is Toronto's. They are up 3-2. Game number 6, Buffalo takes that one. And in game number 7, the Buffalo Sabres win 4-3. And I'm going to guess in overtime. I don't know. I wish I could actually look at box scores from across the league. Please be more like NBA 2K, NHL, because I'd love to get some more box score stuff. And, well, it wasn't exactly Owen Power carrying them 1 point in the first 7 games of this postseason run. But we are into round number 2, and they're taking on the Ottawa Senators. But Buffalo takes game number 1. Ottawa ties it at 1, taking game number 2. Game number 3 is taken by Buffalo, who reinstates themselves in the series lead. It's a 3-1 lead for the Buffalo Sabres. Game number 5 was taken by the Ottawa Senators. Game number 6 taken by the Ottawa Senators. They force us game number 7. And Ottawa is going to win that one and take on the New York Islanders in the Eastern Conference Finals. Another tight series, man. This Atlantic Division is impossible to get out of for these Buffalo Sabres here. Taking a look at the lines real quick. I didn't want to do that. I want to actually take a look at the points here. It'd be nice to see how many points everybody had. For the Buffalo Sabres, did Owen Power bounce back in the second round? Yes, he did. He had 5 points in the 7 games, so that was a lot better than his 1 point in 7. But Vancouver is going to win the cup. The Jets win the President's Trophy, but Vancouver beats Ottawa. And these Canadian teams, man, look at that. The Atlantic Division is Ottawa, Leafs, Ottawa. And then before that, I'm pretty sure it was Florida, Ottawa. So it's been Ottawa, I think, 6 out of the last 9 years, which is absolutely insane. Those Ottawa Senators have created themselves a dynasty. Pettersson winning the Conn Smythe there for the Vancouver Canucks, who I believe might still have Austin Matthews. Yes, they do. So Austin Matthews gets another Stanley Cup. And here we go. Owen Power re-signs for another 5 years, I believe it is, at 11.4. Him and Hischier on the same length there. I think Owen Power has a year more. Heading into the 2030 season, Owen Power is 28 in this season. The team still looks pretty good. A little weaker forward core, but Tage Thompson is here again, and he found his way back. He played for Toronto for 3 seasons. Buffalo bounced him, and he made his way back to Buffalo here, but it's now Owen Power playing with Mario Ferraro. And the defensive core doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look too great either. Again, defensive category, insane. Owen Power's brain is just too big. Those offensive awarenesses and defensive awareness is just so good. But they still have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and that's going to propel them to be the 8th team. The 8th best team in the Eastern Conference, 92 points here. They're going to make it yet again. So we are now on a 4-season streak. And I believe that is 7 of the last 8 seasons we've made the postseason. Owen Power here with 45 points. So again, he's that guy that's just going to keep putting up 40-point seasons. And hopefully the Buffalo Sabres can put forwards around him and other people around him so that he continues to be a very, very successful hockey player and gets a chance to win the cup. Taking a look at the lines, not too much has changed, although the defense looks, I guess, a little worse. Maybe that's just me looking at it twice. Again, he's insane. But here we go. Postseason. This is postseason number 7 of his career. Who will we be taking on in round number 1? Oh, it's no other than Boston, who's a new team we face. We've really only faced Florida, Ottawa, and Toronto so far. But let's go. Game number 1, Boston takes game 1. Game 2 is also taken by Boston. Game number 3 is won by Buffalo. First game on home ice, it looks like. Game 4 is taken by Boston. They're up 3-1. Game 5 is taken by Boston. And just like that, Owen Power's Buffalo Sabres have been eliminated. How did Owen Power and the rest of the boys do in this quick 5-game series? Was it Owen Power's fault? He was a -4. That's not great, but 2 points in 5 games. It's okay. Vancouver wins back-to-back Stanley Cups, though, and this year wins the President's Trophy along with the Stanley Cup. So they go Stanley Cup, President's Trophy, Stanley Cup, and they have beaten the Blue Jackets. So for the first time in like 8 years, I want to say, it's a non-Atlantic team. I think we're in season, this is the end of season 10, and I think 8 of these seasons, it was, the Islanders went, I think, once, and... or was the Islanders or Senators? I can't remember. Anyway, too many seasons gone by, so let's go into another one. Season number 11. Yeah, this team isn't looking as great, guys. Fabian Lysel's now here, but I guess actually it's not as bad as I thought. Defensively, I'd say it's improved. Leonard Henry with his X Factor there. Connolly with his X Factor, and Jake McCabe is back. Welcome back. Owen Power back down to a 91. I believe he was a 92 at the end of last season. Got 5 years left on that $11 million deal. He still, like I said, guys, looks insane. At the end of this one, Buffalo is the third best team with 103 points. 5 teams in the East, all over 100 points, and what a season. 103 points for the first time in a little while, I'd say, that they've been this good. Not a ton of points, but Owen Power, 4th on the team in points, 60 points again. And the dude's just such a solid defenseman. Like, he's not going to wow you. It doesn't look like he's ever going to win the Norris. Maybe he has a breakout year and just goes berserk. But man, he's been pretty darn good. And we take on the Toronto Maple Leafs yet again in round number 1. This should be fun. We've seen them. I think this is the 3rd time we've seen them in the postseason. So let's see how it goes. Toronto wins that game. Buffalo wins that one. It's 1-1 in the series. Game number 3 is taken by Buffalo. It's 2-1 Buffalo. Game 4 taken by Toronto. It's 2-2 again. Another 2-2 game. Or another 2-2 series against the Toronto Maple Leafs. But Buffalo this time takes game 5 and is up 3-2. Game 6 won by Buffalo, and they are going to advance to the second round of the playoffs here. How did Owen Power do in this series against the Leafs? I think he was a no-show a few years ago. Not this year. Point per game, 6 assists in 6 games. He is definitely helping this team on their way to round number 2. But here we go. It is Buffalo versus Boston, the team that just eliminated us last season. Boston takes a 2-0 series lead, a 3-0 series lead. But Buffalo, not going to go quietly, takes game number 4. Game number 5 to stave off elimination. They win 7-4. It is 3-2 in the series. It is now 3-3 as Buffalo wins 3-1 in that one. We are going to Game 7 after being down 3-0. Game 7 is won by the Buffalo Sabres. They advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time of Owen Power's career. Owen Power has another shot at getting to the Stanley Cup Finals, and the team standing in his way is the New York Islanders. And I believe he had 4 points there in that 7-game series, so another solid series. He had 6-6 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had 4-7 there. The Islanders take game number 1, but game number 2 snatched back by the Buffalo Sabres. Game number 3 won by the New York Islanders. Game number 4 coming up. It's a pivotal one. It's won by Buffalo, a 2-0 shutout victory. Game number 5, it is won by the New York Islanders. Game number 6 is also won by the Islanders, and they have eliminated the Buffalo Sabres. And it is Wild versus Islanders. And again, Owen Power falls just so short, just so ever so close, falls short again. Game 7, 16 points in 19 games. And I believe that's what? He got another 6 points in 7 games. So it wasn't his fault they got eliminated. So we'll stay here. We won't cut. And the Minnesota Wild beat the New York Islanders. But another year, Buffalo gets eliminated by the representative of the Eastern Conference. Minnesota there, obviously the Stanley Cup winner, and they have taken out the New York Islanders. We saw that. Finneganoff for them wins the Art Ross, so he looks to be very good, as well as winning the Lady Byng. Mason McTavish wins the Conn Smythe for them. The Vezinas won by Lavin. We're starting to get into the era where not many of these guys are guys that you're used to seeing or guys that you should expect to see. But here in 2032, the team, it still looks pretty good. I mean, it's a solid forward core. I mean, again, for a team that the AI built, I can't really complain too much. Victor Olofsson, I don't remember seeing him last year, but I guess he's back. Here he is. He's been here. Owen Power still playing with Hendry, Connolly with Vero, and Ball with Threlfall, and Power back up to a 92. Again, if that passing just grew 2 more points, this dude would definitely win a Norris, because he's been hunting near it. And here we go. Individual awards aside, Buffalo with another 100-point season. In this season, 6 teams finished with 100 points. Montreal with 119. Everybody else was close, and then Montreal said, nah, I'm about to drop 120 points this season. They just about did it. But here we go. How did Owen Power do in the 2032-2033 season, which is his 12th season? Another great season, 67 points. What a player. I mean, like I said, if he had a bit better passing, he would be a North candidate for sure. And maybe in your sim he will, but so far our career sim of Owen Power, well, he's not won any individual awards and he's not exactly been too close. Taking a look at the lines, no real movement since the beginning of this season. It looks pretty good. I mean, honestly, I think the team is solid. Nobody important scratched, really, and let's go ahead and jump into the postseason. We are ready. Round number 1. Who are we going to take on? We are taking on the Detroit Red Wings. I love that. A new face to take on, but they win game number 1. Buffalo wins game number 2. Game number 3 coming up the next day here, and it is taken by Detroit. It's 2-1 Detroit. Game 4 taken by Buffalo. It's 2-2. Game number 5 is won by Detroit, and game number 6 is also won by the Detroit Red Wings, and they eliminate the Sabres yet again. A round 1 exit. Here we are yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Round 1 and done. And Owen Power, 4 points, 6 games, +3. Can't really blame him. And there's Detroit. They won the Stanley Cup, so another season where the team that wins it or represents the East wins it. They knocked off the Minnesota Wild, who were going for their 2nd straight Stanley Cup, trying to pull a Vancouver Canucks, but were unable to do it. And this Sabres team is just snake bit. I mean, every time they run in, they try and get to the Stanley Cup, they run into the team that ends up winning it or the team that ends up representing the East. It happens, I can't even count how many times. And oh yeah, I left this part in because thanks to the New York Islanders, who went from the Cup Finals to apparently 7th worst team in the NHL, Detroit had their pick. So Detroit not only won the Stanley Cup, but also got the 1st overall pick. And that doesn't do us any favors being in their division. And now we're starting to see the forward core get a little worse. Defensively, though, Owen Power still leads the way on the blue line. He is the Buffalo Sabres blue line. They decided to move on from Rasmus Dahlin, and he is their man. Was that a good idea? I don't know, because the Buffalo Sabres finished with 74 points in 82 games. Ottawa's right there with them, so Ottawa's reign of terror is over. And guys, I'm assuming it's going to be the Detroit Red Wings' reign of terror coming up here. But the Buffalo Sabres, how did Owen Power do? Doesn't look like a great season. 25 points! He only put up 25 points, which is by far the least amount of points he's had in almost a decade. That's the least amount of points he's had since his ELC. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are back. They take on, yes, us, the Arizona Coyotes. I didn't touch anything, and my team made the Stanley Cup Finals and lost in 7. I didn't draft, I didn't re-sign, I didn't sign any free agents, I didn't make any trades, and yet here we are, making it to the Stanley Cup Finals and losing in 7. So guys, if you're struggling, just let the computer do everything. Obviously don't do that, that's not a smart idea. It took me this long, we're in 2034? Anyway, this team got worse. The Buffalo Sabres got much worse. Owen Power with 2 years left. Looking pretty rough here on the defensive core. Not looking nearly as good as it has in years past, and neither is the forward core. And they're going to miss out just so close. Again, 3 points out of the playoffs. 88 points behind the 91 that it would required to make the playoffs. So this is back-to-back seasons after 6 straight years of making the playoffs. Owen Power has now missed it for back-to-back years, but 63 points in 82 games and a +8. He looks very, very solid. And just one more year left on that deal. The LA Kings win the President's Trophy, the Clarence S. Campbell, and the Stanley Cup as they beat the Carolina Hurricanes. A lot of Tampa Bay Lightning players winning awards again, so the Tampa Bay Lightning are back. They didn't stay quiet for very long. Mason McTavish is just a clutch postseason performer as he wins his 2nd Conn Smythe. And there's more Tampa Bay Lightning players. Korobov is apparently really good. 2035-36. They now have Richard Hawk, and all of a sudden this team looks a lot better until you go to the blue line, where it's Owen Power and a bunch of scrubs. Does he want to stick around? Is this going to make him stick around? He's on the last year of his 3-year deal here. Will they make the playoffs? Tampa Bay with 120, Detroit with 119 does not bode well. Buffalo with 84 does not bode well either. They are 3 points out of the playoffs, though they were ever so close. Again, back-to-back 3 points out seasons. But here we go. The Buffalo Sabres. Hawk, apparently a really good pickup. Don't know who he is. He's probably some generated guy, but a bounce-back season for Power, who puts up 51 points in his 82 games. Starting to drop off just a bit in those awarenesses. Still a very, very good defender nonetheless. The Dallas Stars win the Stanley Cup here. The Tampa Bay Lightning were the best team, and the Dallas Stars beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are back. Like I said, their reign of terror, them and Detroit are probably here to stay. I haven't seen Ottawa in a little while. Haven't seen, look at Detroit there. They got Savoie, and he's just killing it. There's Ottawa. Hey, Ottawa, welcome back. You can just stay out of the series, please. You could just let Buffalo win one, please. Speaking of, here we are. Did Owen Power decide to stay? Here's the forward core. It looks okay. It doesn't look great. Did Owen Power re-sign? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, he did. He is signed for 3 more seasons. Yes, you heard that right. He signed for 3 more years. He's starting to drop off a little bit. No longer exact elite, exact top 4. Trevelin is now the goalie. And how did he do with re-signing? Well, he apparently made a smart idea. A smart decision, because Buffalo's the 3rd best team in the East with 102 points. What a great season for them. How did Owen Power do after signing his 3-year, $14.4 million per year deal? Doesn't look like he put up a ton of points. 28 points in another not great season, but you know what? The team is winning. He's playing 26 minutes a night. Again, you can see he's starting to decline a bit in all of his awarenesses and his passing, and his physical's going down. His skating's not really dropping, but you can see getting a little worse. He is 34 now, guys. But the important thing is he made the playoffs. He's not going to have too many bites at the apple here. Not another crack at winning a Stanley Cup. This is a good opportunity for him. They're the 3rd best team in the entire Eastern Conference. And who are they going to be taking on? They're going to be taking on the Detroit Red Wings in round number 1. That team that I said is here to stay. Their reign of terror. Them and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And of course, it's both in the freaking Atlantic. None of the Metro teams could be good, could they? In game number 1, which is coming up today, Buffalo wins it. We got an early 1-0 series lead, a 2-0 series lead. Game number 3, it's a 3-0 series lead. They are this close to eliminating a juggernaut. 3-1 now as Detroit wins that one. In the next game, taken by Detroit, it's 3-2. It's 3-3. Buffalo lost 3 straight. Is Buffalo going to lose 4 straight? Yes, they are. Detroit eliminates them. They find their rhythm after Buffalo goes up 3-0, and the Sabres get reverse swept. How did Owen Power do? I don't see him here at the top. It must have been a bad season, a bad postseason for Owen Power. 1 goal in 7 games and a -2. It's not what you want to see. And the Tampa Bay Lightning finally reclaim the cup, knocking off the Los Angeles Kings, who have made it 2 of the last 3 seasons. They actually won 1. So we got a little bit of a repeat of the history of the NHL. But there's the Lightning, there's the Detroit Red Wings, and there's our goalie, Trevelin. Welcome. Owen Power, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit for that one too, because, hey, I got to give him credit for something, because it doesn't look like he's winning a trophy anytime soon. 2037, 2038, Owen Power's now 34, turning 35, and dropping to an 86 overall. He's got 2 more years left, but they did sign Daryl Ewan to be his partner. And this is probably the best partner he's had since Dahlin left. Dumbo was gone before Dahlin was gone. Did Buffalo make the playoffs with that signing? They did not, and they finished under 500 too. 81 points. So again, not great for the Buffalo Sabres there. How did Owen Power do? Don't see him at the top here, but there he is, 18 points. That is atrocious. Only 18 points, and he's really starting to regress harder and harder now. He's 35. He's got 1 more year left after this one on his 14.4. Hey, Ottawa, welcome back. Best team in the NHL yet again. Prince of Wales Trophy and the Stanley Cup. So Ottawa's back. Ottawa's rebounded. Ottawa. I think I got to say Ottawa. I got to give them so far. I know we got more years left in Owen Power's career, but Ottawa's probably been the best franchise we've seen here. If you guys disagree with me, let me know, because I think they're the best team that we've seen in this sim. There was the forward core. Owen Power down to an 81 now, starting to really regress. Still great defensively. Got the brain of a genius. But just starting to lose some of the physicals. He's 35, but it doesn't matter. They're back in the playoffs. 7th best team in the East. 92 points, Very, very solid season there. Owen Power is now 36 years old. How did he do? 81 overall, 36 years old, 28 points. So a bit of a bounce back season. The whole team really a minus besides Hoffman. So that's not what you want to see. That doesn't necessarily bode or set you up for success. Doesn't bode well. But here we go. Taking a look. The Buffalo Sabres look okay. The defensive core, a little bit better. Power got bumped off the first line, which is the first time since I think it's like he's been there since his third season, I want to say. He's been on the top pairing. But here we go. It is time for the postseason, and they will be taking on the New Jersey Devils, a new face. So we're going to go through the Eastern, or the, of course we're going through the East, Ryan. We're going through the Metropolitan, and last time we did that, well, that's kind of been our success, is not having to face the Atlantic, letting them beat each other up, going through the Metropolitan, which is much weaker, and that usually sets us up for success. And we win game number 1, setting us up for success. New Jersey ties it at 2. Game number 3 is taken by the New Jersey Devils as well. Game number 4 coming up here. It's 2-1 New Jersey. 3-1 New Jersey as they take game number 4, and game number 5 is taken by New Jersey, a 4-1 series, a gentleman's sweep, if you will. How did Owen Power do in a postseason where I don't know if he's going to get back to the postseason, being an 81? It's the last year of his deal too. Is he going to stay? 3 points. He was even. I think it's a solid postseason. 3-5. That's pretty good. That's 60%. 60% of the time you're getting points, which I think is fine. But he does. Let's check if he has a contract extension. Buffalo Sabres sort by all expiring. Owen Power is expiring, and they have not offered him an extension. So at 37, will he hit free agency? I'm not sure. But the Anaheim Ducks beat the Ottawa Senators. A repeat, I think it was like the 06 final. And Anaheim comes out on top this time as well. I believe they did back then too. But as we were looking through here, Roseanne, a former Sabre, won the Conn Smythe for the Ducks. So the Ducks and the Senators both had great seasons, great sims. And there's the Buffalo Sabres coach winning a trophy. Good for him. Is Owen Power still on the Buffalo Sabres? Where did he go? Is he on the Sabres? Let's come on, take a look. No, unless he fell off hard. Yeah, no, he's not here in Buffalo. Oh my God, that defensive core, guys. You might want to do something about that. Where is Owen Power? Is he a free agent? We're here on July 1st. Owen Power, where are you? He's a left defenseman. I'm pretty sure he's listed as a left defenseman. I don't see him here, so let's go ahead and just check out defenseman. You can see the AI is offering contracts for me. Where is Owen Power? He was an 82 when we last saw him. He was an 81, I think. But there he is, 82 overall, 36 years of age. He's asking for 1 year at 6.075. So let's jump forward to September. Where is Owen Power? Let's find him. The first time we've had to look up Owen Power in this one. Where did he end up? And he is with the Seattle Kraken. 81 overall, 1 year, about $5 million. And now a member of the Seattle Kraken. So he goes from Buffalo for the first time in his career. After spending 18 seasons with Buffalo, in his 19th season, he heads to Seattle. And that's got to be a sad moment, leaving Buffalo at the age of 36. It's like Giordano leaving Calgary, a little bit like that. I guess he hasn't enjoyed the kind of success he has, but there they are. The Seattle Kraken make it to the postseason, so he is back in the playoffs. Holy smoke, Chicago with 121 points. 98 points for Seattle was very, very good. Now we can't just quickly scroll the Sabres. We got to go up to the Kraken. How did Owen Power do this season? 16 points in 82 games and was a plus 18. A very, very good player. Probably played with Bateni, or maybe he played with Nieuwendyk. I'm not sure. I can't remember who his partner was. So let's go ahead and get into the postseason. Who will Seattle face? Owen Power can't have much time left. So Seattle, let's go win a cup, please. Let's win a cup for Owen Power. I want to at least see him get to the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Seattle Kraken in round number 1 will be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. So the Vegas Golden Knights, it's expansion franchise versus expansion franchise. In game number 1, the Vegas Golden Knights take game 1. They take game number 2. Vegas then takes game number 3. Game number 4, they got swept. Seattle got swept. Owen Power gets swept. And I want to say he got swept for the first time in his career. I don't remember him getting swept in any other series. I know that there's a lot of round one losses, which, happens here. But he didn't really do much here either. I can't really blame him. He's not the defenseman that's going to do something anymore. But Detroit topples Vancouver and wins another Stanley Cup. So yeah, Detroit is back. They're a powerhouse team. And I was hoping now with Owen Power out of the Atlantic, out of the East, he might have a chance to go far. The Sabres coach wins Coach of the Year again. And here is Owen Power. That 1-year deal, Seattle did not re-up, and he's now a 78 at the age of 37. Will somebody sign him? He hasn't retired, so I don't go out as a free agent. I want him to go out as a member of a team. One last crack at making the playoffs and winning a Stanley Cup. Is he still a free agent as we get up to September 13th, the start of the next season? Owen Power, back-to-back times where we got to find out where the heck you are. Where did he end up? He ended up in Dallas as a 7th defenseman, 77 overall at the age of 37, making 1.4 for 1 year. So a very lucrative career for Owen Power. A lot of money made for this guy. Holy smokes. Hasn't really gained any weight since earlier in the episode here. Where is he playing? Is he scratched? I hope he's actually playing. I did have injuries off. If you guys haven't already noticed that, I have injuries off. So if he's playing there, they'll only have to bench him. And this looks like an okay team. It could surprise. The defensive core is not great. They have some pretty good guys, and he's reunited with Jirasek. We've come full circle, and he's back with Jirasek. Only thing more sweeter would be him back with Dahlin. And there's the 8 playoff spots. Do you spy Dallas? I don't. Not in the 8 spots here. Dallas in the 12 hole there, 83 points. They weren't too far off. 84 points. Colorado was 1 point ahead of them. How did Owen Power do? As Dominic Krejci, that's not David Krejci, is here. Let's see, Dallas Stars, Owen Power, did they scratch you, buddy? No, they did not. They let him play every game, and he had 16 points, -9. So not a great one there, but the President Trophy was won by the Red Wings. The Ducks played the Flyers, and the Ducks won the Stanley Cup. So the Ducks, the Ducks in Ottawa, probably up there for the best 2 teams in this career sim. Detroit's probably 3rd, I'd have to say. No trophies, though, for Owen Power. And here we go, guys. We're at the player retirement screen. You know what that means. We're going to go down to the Dallas Stars, and Owen Power did retire. 1,640 games played. I mean, I didn't have injuries on, but that's 20 full seasons. He played 20 seasons in the NHL, amassing 140 goals, 614 assists, 754 points there. He had 12 trips to the playoffs in his 20 seasons. So that's about, 70% of the time he was in the playoffs, which is really good. He had 8 round 1 exits, which is not good of his 12. 2 round 2 exits. 2 trips to the Eastern Conference Finals, but was never able to even get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So as you guys can see, over 2,300 hits, 2,200 blocked shots, and this is what he's retiring as, a 76 overall. Still looks decent. I mean, he could probably keep playing. He's going to keep dropping off, though, and at this point, he's probably not making the another NHL team, so might as well call it quits. An absolutely phenomenal career. No individual awards, didn't really get a chance to play on the biggest stage in the Stanley Cup, but he did have those 2 great Eastern Conference Finals runs and a lot of playoff series that I don't blame him. He only played bad in, I think, 2 or 3 years. Let's go ahead and check out the record book here. Did he rewrite any records for the Buffalo Sabres or the Stars or the Seattle Kraken? And there you go. You can see he's not part of the all-time list there. For the career record, for the season records, rookie records, didn't break any rookie records there. Single game records, none there from him. And really nothing. He didn't play with Buffalo long enough, I feel like, to get a career record breaker. Maybe he did. I don't think he did. Owen Power played the most seasons all time. So there it is. And he had the most games played of any player. Now, I didn't have injuries on, so it makes sense, but he was the Sabres Iron Man. He played the most games played of any player in the Royal Blue and Gold, and that is phenomenal. That is the kind of thing you want to see. Nothing for the Kraken here. I didn't think he would have a career number for the Kraken. And there's Matty Beniers. Look at him. I mean, I figured your second overall draft pick in your first year is probably going to be the one who's going to set all your records. And for the Dallas Stars, no career records. Obviously, he didn't play with Dallas long enough. But I didn't notice that before when I was recording this episode, that he broke all those records for the Sabres. Seasons, 18 seasons, and the most games played, about over 1,400 games with the Sabres. But guys, that's all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all, free for all.